rule number 4, which is to supplement wisely or supplement properly. And so some of the key questions to answer if you're working with athletes are safety. Are supplements safe? How do you know if they're safe? Are they regulated? And which ones are evidence-based? Which one can actually help my clients and which ones are hype? And so real quickly, you guys, if you've heard me lecture before on this topic, you guys know that yes, supplements are regulated, but they're not regulated very tightly. It's very loose under the DSHEA Act, which was passed in 1994, Dietary Supplement Health Education Act. And so under this piece of legislation, it allowed companies to take ingredients found in nature and make it into a dietary supplement. Okay, ingredients found in nature can be made into a supplement, and supplements aren't required to be tested for effectiveness or safety prior to selling them. Okay, so that's the key point. If you've tuned out, like, come back. This is really important. Supplements are not required to be tested for effectiveness or safety prior to selling them. So what this piece of legislation does is it's really an honor system. Companies are supposed to follow what's called GMPs, good manufacturing practices, but it's nobody checks if they are prior to selling it. Well, that's actually not true. What the FDA does is they will spot check supplement facilities every single year by doing something called random audits. For example, in 2019, they visited almost 598 supplement manufacturing facilities, spot check to see if they were following the rules or good manufacturing practices. And what they found in over 50% of cases, they issued violations because they weren't following the rules. And most of those violations had to do with quality control. So if it's an honor system, you don't have to do it, then what do you think is going to happen to the quality of products if it's an honor system and half the people aren't following the rules? Well, you're going to have issues with products not being, the best quality. And so the other thing the FDA does is it maintains a database of supplements that they know of, that they found to have hidden ingredients. And so what does that hidden mean? It's inside the container, but not inside the label. So things like steroids, prescription meds, illegal drugs, and you can Google this yourself and find the entire database with all the listed dietary supplements that the FDA knows about that are contaminated. And of course, if you're working with athletes, you're not going to want them to have a contaminated product, right? I mean, it's the last thing you want, because they test positive and then they, they're not an athlete anymore. They get banned or something like that. So it's not a surprise that because of the way that the supplement industry is loosely regulated, you're going to see banned substances in sports products. So this is, NSF, which is an independent third-party testing agency. They pulled up, 17 different brands of supplements and found all these banned substances in some of these brands. And then the same thing with weight loss supplements that are purchased on Amazon or online. 26 of the products that FDA purchased on Amazon, 80% of them had undeclared active pharmaceutical ingredients, so banned substances. So what's the key takeaway? You don't want to buy off the mass market unless you know it's clean, unless you know it's been independently tested. And so that's what we advise, is that you only use third-party testing products on these teams or coaching, colleges, pro teams. All they do is buy third-party tested. Most of them want the NSF certified for sport, because NSF certified for sport tests for the most banned substances as compared to some of the other third-party testing agencies. So the other piece to proper supplementation, besides the fact to make sure that they're not tainted, is to use supplements that actually work, that have enough evidence behind them to show that they can have a benefit with your athlete. So what are those things? Well, the International Society of Sports Nutrition, ISSN, put out a list of dietary supplements available, dietary supplements based on the available science. And so they categorized the supplements that are out there based on the amount of evidence. So you can see down here, it's strong evidence. What do we have for strong evidence? There's limited or mixed evidence, and then little to no evidence to support safety. So let's just talk about really quickly, muscle building supplements that have enough evidence are HMB, creatine, essential amino acids, and protein. And then the ones to help performance, beta-alanine, caffeine, carbs, right? Creatine monohydrate, no other form, monohydrate form. And then of course you've got the sodium bicarbonate, phosphate, water, and sports drinks. Okay, so So really, those are the ones that, I recommend for the athletes that I work out. And these ones here with limited or mixed, and of course, don't recommend any of these at the bottom. So the way you want to think about proper supplementing is I like to use the supplement hierarchy. It's a shape like a pyramid. It makes me think of the Egyptian pyramids that have stood the test of time for all these thousands of years. Why? Because it has a strong foundation. So when it comes to dietary supplements, I like to start with a strong foundation. Let's build a strong diet, a strong, overall complete diet by filling in our gaps, by meeting our micronutrient needs. And then the second thing to think about is getting enough protein, right, to support our muscle, and enough workout nutrition to make sure you maximize each training bout or competitive event. And then after that would come your ergogenic aids, the supplements that we just talked about, right? So I like to start from the bottom up to build a strong foundation.